All right, so we're in the process of making our first sticky nav, what I like to call sticky nav, because it stays fixed on top. This is what it looks like right now. This is without any CSS. Now, again, it's connected to the Bootstrap CSS, so it collapses like that. So that's the CSS Bootstrap working. And then this is the jQuery file that we haven't really used yet. That's what makes this worse. This is basically a slide toggle function in the jQuery, but there's really no coloring. And this is as I said, this is kind of the tough part. I'm going to save you some time, and I am going to go into the just a second here. Go into the nav CSS file. So here's my CSS folder for all my examples. And if you look, there's something called nav style right there. And eventually Text Wrangler will open up. Okay. And let me see what I can do here. I'm going to try to get larger text here. Okay, so view, text display. Okay, so if we look at the HTML, let me go back into the HTML. We have a nav with a class name called navbar, and then there's a space, and then there's a class name called navbar inverse, and then another space, and then navbar-fix-top. So it has, what, 3 class names that it can work with, okay? And then we have our old container here, and then we have a div with a class name of navbar header, okay? And then we have a button tag with a lot of different class names, okay? And then we have, this is the weird one, we have the span tag with a class name of icon bar. We have 3 of them in a row, okay? Well, it just so happens these three things right here in a row are actually these 3 little lines right here, okay? See those 3 little lines and the toggle switch right there that I can click? They are made of with span tags, and they have a class name called icon bar, and Bootstrap sees that class name and makes those little lines. Okay, so we're going to use all of these class names to color this thing like this. I know it's not Westview colors. I just went with purple and yellow for some reason. Okay, all right, so I am going to make you, yes, kind of make you, add the comments. Now notice in HTML, if you remember, the comments are an angle bracket, exclamation point, dash, dash, the comment, and then to close the comment, dash, dash, angle bracket. Okay? In CSS, kind of a lot like other languages, coding languages, we use a slash and then an asterisk to start it. So it's slash asterisk and then the comment. I said background color of the complete nav bar and lower border color. And then to stop the comment, just the opposite. So here you start it with a slash asterisk. Here you end it with an asterisk slash. Okay? Now the comments, they're going to have to be there. I'm going to grade you on those for this. Okay, so just know that. Get used to doing comments. You're going to do them. That's really the polite thing to do if you're working in a team, which most of the time professionally in web design, you're passing off your coding and collaborating with a whole bunch of different people. If you have nice, clean-looking coding with comments, they're going to love you, okay? And I'm going to love you because you're going to do the comments. So this basically is talking to that class navbar We're making a background color for the whole navigation area. And then we're doing a lower bottom color of a solid purple. Okay? So if you look at it, it's this yellow color here, and then this dark purple line at the bottom. Okay, that's done with that. And I'm using a hexadecimal color hexadecimal color number to do that. Okay, so I'm just going to go through this, and I want you to stop the video and just, again, type out everything as I have it. Okay, now this is going to go for the sizing and coloring of the link text, the actual text links on the navigation. And notice I'm talking to the ID. There's an ID area called navbar. There's an A tag inside that area. Okay, and we're saying, hey, there's a navbar area, an ID name navbar. There's an A tag inside of it, and here's what I want to do with it. Here's the color of the tag itself without mousing over it, without doing anything. That's the normal color we're setting up. And this is the font size. We're upping the font size to 1.3 EM. Now EM and percentage is what pretty much we're going to use in here. 1 EM is normal. Whatever sized font text is for a link, that's normal. We're actually going a little bit above that 1.3 EM. Okay? So the next thing we're going to do is coloring. And the coloring is when you, we're going to color the link hover. So we're taking these tags that normally will be this color right here, if you can see it, I'm kind of circling around it. And we're changing it so when you hover over, it'll change to this color and add a background to the A tag. So you'll have a background exposed to it, and then you'll change the text color. And that's this right here. So see the yellow background, and you see kind of a pink color on the text. That's what that line of code is doing. Okay? All right. Again, you can stop the video and try your best. Let me move this over a little bit here. Okay. So this is the color of the 3 horizontal lines when hovered over. So those 3 lines, those icon bars, notice I have to dig in. A lot of times in Bootstrap, in other coding situations where I'm not using Bootstrap, I can go right to the class name icon bar. But because it's Bootstrap, it's very formal. So because of that, I have to say, hey, there's something called navbar inverse, and then inside that there's something called navbar toggle, and there's a hover state, and then inside of that there's an icon bar. Oh, and also there's something called navbar inverse, navbar toggle, focus, and then icon bar. So I have to kind of dig down and tell Bootstrap exactly what class name I want to get in, change, and then where it is exactly, maybe nested in another class name. So that's what's going on here. But we're changing the hover of those 3 icon bars. Okay, and I'll come back to this. Let me show you. So see when I hover over, okay, those 3 little bars are actually changing, and that's what's doing it. Okay, and it's doing it with this right here. You can pause that and then type it out. Again, the great thing is you're going to do this once, and you'll really never have to do it again. So you're welcome. Okay, this is the background color of that icon area. This one does all the 3 little lines and kind of changes the color. This changes the background of that little toggle area, just behind where the icon bars are sitting on top of. Okay. This is changing the look of the icon bars just normally. Again, this is the hover state when you're hovering over it up here. Here. And this is what it's going to be when you're normally just looking at it without hovering over it at all. Okay? And again, same thing for the whole area, holding those icon bars. That little toggle area, that's the background. Okay, so we're changing the background color and we're putting a border color around it. Okay, just a couple more. Okay, this is the color of the text. The header, it's called the header of the brand. And it says Westview High School. And this is what it looks like just normally. That when you, without hovering over it, without doing anything, when you open the page, this is what Westview High School text, that text right there is going to be. It's going to be that color and that size. And then this is the hover. So what I did was, when you hover over it, I just changed the text color. Okay, so if you want, once you get this, if you want to change the colors and have your own colors, but I want you to keep the comments, okay? And the great thing is, when we do Web 2, when we get into this, creating web pages and websites, we'll create probably the main area first, and then we'll grab a sticky nav and put it on top and change the coloring of it to kind of go with the page. And then we'll also change out a footer. We'll grab, the footer is the bottom part of a page. Historically, it hasn't been used for much, but it's becoming more and more prevalent and important. So we'll create what are called some thick footers in here with contact information, with social media icons, maybe an email, maybe a submit button for a newsletter. We'll use it for a lot of different things. For the most part, the footer area it'll be on every page, and it'll take the place of a contact page. Okay? All right, cool. So go ahead and get that, and that should all work for you. You might have to rewind the tape and rewind the video and stop a little bit just to get certain parts that maybe you missed. Okay? There is your Sticky Nav.